Why are there different accents in the regions of Vietnam?
Why do Vietnamese have two wedding ceremonies?
Why do Vietnamese have French words?
Why is Vietnamese in Latin script?
Why do Vietnamese ride motorbikes?
You're listening to Why Do Vietnamese, a cultural podcast by VSAR.
Welcome to Why Do Vietnamese, Vietnamese cultural talks with VSAR. Each episode, we pick a new topic on why do Vietnamese do this or that and share our personal takes on the topic. My name is Brian, VP of Culture at VSAR, and your host for today. Joining me are two fellow VSAR members, Nick and Lin. Would you like to introduce yourself, guys?
Hi guys, my name is Nick. I'm the Senior Advisor at VSAR for this year, and I'm in my last school year at Rice. So far, I'm very happy to be here for this podcast today, so shout out to Brian.
Hello guys, my name is Linh and I am the Marketing Associate for VSAR this year. I'm also in my final year of school and I'm very happy to be here as well.
Thank you so much, guys, for taking time out of your days to join us here today. I guess when this is posted, it will be New Year. So Happy New Year to all of our viewers or listeners. Applause. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. So it is a new year, and we're starting off this new year with a brand new podcast for all of you guys at VSAR. And we hope that you guys will like this new series that we have. So before we get right into this, do you guys want to share your New Year's wishes for our viewers / listeners?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Me?
Ladies first.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
I'll go first.
So I think this year the most important thing is to stay healthy. So that's what I want to wish upon everyone. So Happy New Year and stay healthy.
That's good.
Yes.
And Brian, do you wanna go with it?
Okay,
yeah. Sure.
I'm pretty sure our listeners are probably students or new to finding their jobs. So I hope in the new year it brings everybody much more new opportunities and everybody's pretty lucky. And I hope that you're able to be successful on whatever your pathway is. I know the past year has been a roller coaster for all of us, and we've been up and down and crazy things. But the new year's here. Let's start fresh. Chuyện cũ mình bỏ qua, Let's start all over again. So Nick, your turn.
Yeah, I would say the same. First of all, just Happy New Year to everyone. I really look forward to this new year because things are getting better soon. Last year was very difficult, and I think that it reminds everyone to look after themselves, look after their loved ones, and then just keep in touch with everybody because there's a lot of bad things happen in 2020, and if we pay more attention to things in life and look after ourselves, I think our mental health but also our life much better. So.
It's good that we are able to still connect on digital things. Yeah. We can still kind of at least see each other. Right. But I hope that I'll be able to see you guys in person soon.
Yeah.
And we can have a big...
I haven't met Lynn. We worked for nearly a year now. I haven't met her. Yeah.
And I haven't met both of you. Yeah.
Soon.
All right. Yeah, hopefully everything will calm down soon. It looks hopeful for this year. So now, before we get into today's topic, we have our V Music feature, where we will share a bit of a song relating to each episode's topic. I'm not going to tell you yet what it is, but let's get right into it.
Là Tết về cùng bao bồn bê ta xoay. Xuân năm nay giống như năm kia một vòng loay hoay. Tết về mà trăng cười cảnh vật làm sao vui tươi. Người bận rộn những lo toan vô hình, người cầu phúc cầu duyên tình. Tết tới nhanh, mùa Tết xoay ngày càng nhanh, nhưng cảm xúc vẫn vương. Bao nhiêu là câu hỏi khôn lường. Em sao chưa lấy chồng, em bé cả nhà đời mong. Nhắc đến Tết xuống sang trong lòng. Tết mới phải đâu chuyện khó gì, đừng lo nghĩ. Tết mới ngay trong tim mình, tay sắc với một nơi bằng câu chuyện vui để cho đời này em ơi. Tết mới ngay trong tim mình.
All right, so based off of that song, I'm sure everybody can kind of tell what our topic is. Also, based on my background, it's different from normal. So today's topic is, of course, going to be related to Tết or Lunar New Year. So the question of why do Vietnamese for today's episode is, why do Vietnamese release carp fish before Tết? So have you guys heard of this before?
Yes, we have. I know my family does it, but I've never personally done it before.
Yeah, same. I did it a couple of times when I was still in Vietnam, but to be honest, I never really knew the reason why. And I hope that today we're gonna explain it to everyone. Eh?
Yeah, that's true. I feel like a lot of people don't know why.
Yeah.
Like they kind of just do it. So the reason behind all of
I
this,
know, right?
we have to first explore the story behind the kitchen gods in Vietnamese culture, also known as Tao. So for the Tao story, it's also called Sự tích Công Tao, meaning the legend behind the kitchen god. So for this story, it starts off like most traditional Asian stories. Sometime in the ancient past, long, long, long ago, there was this husband who left his wife alone in the countryside to find a better opportunity or money to change their lives. So he told his wife, I promise I'll come back in 3 years. If I do not return back in 3 years or you do not hear any news, assume that I'm dead and find a new husband. So already we're just like, okay, this is starting off really grim.
Wow.
So this wife, during these
So
3 years, she
sad.
became a housekeeper at another, a bit more wealthier of a family, to live day by day. Like they gave her food to eat and she was able just to live by the days. And this owner of this house, he originally had a wife, but then his wife also passed away. And he began to grow feelings for this lady that was working at his house. 3 years, of course, went by. No news from this original husband. And this rich man asked the lady if he could marry her. But because this lady had such a strong connection with her former, now assumed dead husband, she wanted to fulfill the role of 3 years mourning to give the respect to her now assumed deceased husband. So after 3 years, after the mourning period, she still couldn't move on. So she's like, let me just wait 1 more year. Finally, after 7 years of no news, she's like, okay, fine. I will marry with this other guy. And then after getting married, just 3 months later, what do you guys think happened?
You guys show up. Huh?
Exactly. It gets confusing here. The drama happens. So 3 months later, after she gets married, the assumed dead husband returns without any improvement to his financial status or any sort of job. So he knew that because he didn't improve and he came back much later than he had promised, he didn't fight for his wife, as he knew everything was on him. So the rich man was like, oh, you can have your wife back. I'm not going to fight for her. You guys seem to be a really good couple together, so I'm going to let you guys go. But the original husband was like, no, I feel bad. I shouldn't do this. This was kind of a bad idea because now all three of them have growing guilt. So the original husband didn't move away from the village. He decided to live there because he still really deared his wife. And eventually, from depression, from not being able to be with his wife and just all the pressure and stress, he committed suicide by hanging himself on a tree at the gate of the village. So we have right here, it's already getting quite grim. So now the wife heard... Yeah?
But I don't understand. I thought the wife is like she still had feeling for her husband.
So they didn't move
Why
back
didn't
together
they move
because
back together?
the wife also felt guilty for this rich guy that she was kind of basically living for the past 7 years. He was so loyal to her and so genuine in terms of his feelings. He's like, I literally just married this guy. I don't want to move on and just break it off. That's not right. Because they were so... Yeah, they ended up getting married after her waiting 7
they
years.
married.
So he originally
Okay.
proposed to her 3 years after, but because of the mourning period, they waited another 3 years, actually another 4 years. So hearing this news, the wife felt so guilty, thinking that she was the cause of her husband's death because she did not go back with him. So she drowned herself. So now we have two characters that are now dead. So this rich man who was really deeply in love with his newly married wife also fell into deep sorrow.
No.
So he decided to donate all of his wealth to charity, to different orphanages, and just different places that needed money. And he drank poison and committed suicide. It is quite dark, but it shows you the true power of love. So when they made it to the underworld, the king of the underworld saw this genuine bond that the three of these people had. They were very genuine in terms of their love, and their relationship was very passionate, as if the burning flames of the stove, and was the true definition of what family was meant to be, which is why he created them into deities to watch over the family and the house. The three represented family and harmony, based on their connection from before and how genuine their affection was for each other. The rich man became Thổ Cầm, watching over the kitchen. The first husband became Thổ Địa, watching over the house and the land that the family lived on. And the wife became Thổ Kỳ, to oversee external affairs and the relationships within the family. So actually, these three, if you look at a traditional stove in Vietnam, there's 3 prongs to it. It's made of concrete. People believe that those 3 prongs are actually representative of these 3 Tao.
It's like the 3 like pyramid-ish that you put the pot on top, right?
Yeah. So like it's the round stove, the charcoal burning stove. There's like the 3 like stands for you to put the pot on.
Wow.
That's why there's 3.
Interesting.
Did you guys know about this?
Wow.
I heard about this a little,
No.
but you explained the story. I didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah, this one, I thought it was a quite interesting story when I was looking for it. I heard like a different story, but I thought this one was just so much more passionate in terms of these people's relationship. It just felt so genuine, and like you just felt bad and you were almost sucked into the story somehow. So the traditions that rooted from this story, after these 3 individuals were venerated by the Vietnamese people, once a year, these 3 deities are destined to travel to the heavens to report the past year's affair of the moral world to the Jade Emperor. And this happens to fall 1 week before Tet, on the 23rd day of the 12th lunar month. And on this day, people within and outside of Vietnam who believe in this often offer sweet items such as candy. A really popular one is actually the peanut candy and sesame brittle. And they tend to offer him really sweets and lots of goods. There's lots of traditions behind it based on where you are. But the general idea is you're sending him off, and they give him sweet items so that either his mouth will be sealed shut so he can't say anything, or he can report really sweet items to the Jade Emperor, basically bribing him. So how these 3 individuals make it to heaven. In the south, it's a bit different, where they would burn a couple papers and a pair of paper clothing, and the smoke would believe to bring them to the heavens. But I think in the northern regions, a pair of 3 carps. So 3 of these fish are bought, and they're put on the altar, and then after the ceremony is over, they go and release them into local lakes and rivers as part of the ritual. This is partly believed to build on good merit and good karma, as in freeing away any captured animals to let them go back to the wild, while at the same time, the reason why it's in specifically Cà Chép is because there's a traditional story, I think it comes from China, it's Cà Chép Hóa Rồng, meaning the carpfish becomes a dragon. So the reason why is because carps are really powerful fish. I believe that they are one of the few fish that can swim upstream against a river's current. And in traditional East Asian folklore, there's believed to be this river leading up to the Dragon Gate. And this river is very powerful, and only those who are animals that are very strong, that can beat against these many challenges, can make it to the Dragon Gate. And once they pass the Dragon Gate, also known as Vũ Môn, they become dragons and they fly to heaven. And it's believed that the 3 Amta ride on these carp that take them to Vomom, and they return back to heaven that way.
Wow, that's actually beautiful. The image of the fish going upstream to become a dragon.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So that's like an entire separate story.
Yeah.
It's believed, like some people like to put it in their house for good fortune and stuff because it's supposed to show like the powerfulness of the carp and also like prosperity, just in East Asian culture.
So that's why all the deities, like they ride carp to go back to like heaven. But like in the north, we have like Dao Guan, the show. So now I understand why. Yeah. And also I think for the tradition in the north, we actually do both of the releasing and then the, burning all the clothes.
Is it Hoa Vàng?
Yeah. Yeah, Hoa Vàng. Yeah.
That's
We
interesting.
do both of that.
I feel like in the north they're way more traditional than in the south.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel
Well,
so too.
that was the story, and that answers the question: why do Vietnamese release carp before Tet? It's so that the kitchen gods can return back to heaven. So now, I guess we can get a little bit of discussion. Like, we're together now, it's the Tet season. So how do you guys celebrate Tet normally?
So normally, like, what I like about it is like, the preparation like part, like before the holiday. So our family, we would go to buy, the peach blossom and then all the decoration for the house. So it's just like Christmas. So it feels really like festive and you can really feel it. And we also have a lot of traditions. So one of it being Somdat, which means like first footing. So to pick a first person to go into your house during Tet. It is just very important because that person, if you pick the right person, he or she can bring you like luck, fortunes, happiness. So I think the criteria to show the first person to be in your house is based on the Vietnamese zodiac sign, so like the 12 animals that represent the cycle. So I think each year there would be one animal that would be considered the luckiest. So if you pick the person who has that age to go into your house, then you would be, happy and lucky for the whole year. So, for my family, so my dad, he would normally like call up the relative that have the lucky age, and he would be like, oh, come over the first thing tomorrow morning and go into my house. So it would be like my cousin, my uncle, or my aunt. It's different every year. So I think that's very interesting.
That is a pretty interesting one. Imagine if you get like the wrong person.
Yeah. I know, right? So I think in the north, people are very like particular about that. Yeah, so they would pick the person and tell them to come in first thing in the morning. Yeah, and also, I remember one time I went to watch firework with my dad, and then when me and my dad both arrived home, I wasn't allowed to like go in before my dad because my year last year wasn't considered lucky. So my dad had to be the person who go into the house first. Yeah. So that's how particular we are about that thing.
Oh man, it's like so strict.
Yeah.
Same with my family too. We are from the north, but we live in the south. So my family, we do that often too. Every New Year, we would call up our relative, and then sometimes I have to stay outside before my parents walked in, so I can definitely relate to Lin.
Yeah, so if you go out and watch like the firework or countdown with your friend, you cannot go back, like go inside before like the lucky person. Or you either stay inside or like you have to wait.
Your parents' zodiac, are they lucky or are they normal? But it's just that you're unlucky, that's why they have to come first.
I mean, it depends on each year. So there are times that my parents' zodiac like are very well for that year. They would do that. They would be the first person. Right. So they don't need to ask anyone. They would just do it. But if they're not, if their zodiac is not, then they would ask another person to come in.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do they have like a record of whose zodiac sign is who?
It's like a book of checking.
Oh yeah, I think they do.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think every mom has that. They
It's
knows
like just
everything.
The Vietnamese
Yeah.
mom's memory is just so strong. They remember everybody's age. That's kind of funny. They have like a file of like, oh, this person's age. Imagine making that into a spreadsheet.
I know, right? I was like, how can I be the
Right,
same as
yeah.
my mom? How can I be the same level as my mom when I become one? Like, I don't know anything about
That's an
these.
interesting one. So I think for me, I also like I don't think I actually do that here in Canada. Like it's kind of hard because we don't really are not as strict on looking at like the time and like I know in Vietnam they're so strict at like what direction you're facing when you're leaving the door, something like that, and like it's like so strict and I feel like here like it's so hard because the time here doesn't match the time in Vietnam and then you don't know which record you're going off of and then it's just like we kind of just oh whatever who cares like it doesn't really matter. So for me I feel like my family because we have a little bit of like Chinese descent, there's way more a lot of like gom or like worshipping our ancestors and the deities in the house, especially during the new year. It's considered really important that you keep the deities and gods in your house very happy, especially around that time. There's a lot of like I guess you can call them birthdays of these gods, so we gotta go like to worshipping kind of ceremonies things, and especially that's why on those during the new year all you smell is just nop nhang all the time. There's smoke everywhere and it's it's like almost like I feel like a dangerous amount, but especially here where there's not a lot of good ventilation. But aside from that, I think here it's kind of hard because in Canada I never had that in Vietnam before. I lived in Canada all my life and it was always on like a school day or like a work day, like just a regular day, like and everybody just oh it's just another day. Sometimes I would use that excuse like to get out of school. I'd be like, oh it's a religious holiday, I'm gonna not go to school. I remember doing that in like elementary school, middle school, and like I would go to the temple after that and kind of just give you something to do because there really is nothing to do in the middle of the winter here. But aside from that, I guess we'd have family dinner, of course. Just the four of us, just the intermediate family, because, I don't know, it's kind of hard to gather everybody, especially on a weekday when everybody has to go to work. I think that's pretty much it for my family. What about you, Nick?
My family, we do similar things like Link's family. Like we also cúng to our ancestors too, and we do like a feast normally. Usually we have like canh măng, bánh chưng, gà luộc, canh bóng thả, like and then nem like nhiều chả giò. And I think one thing that I remember the most from my Tết was gói bánh chưng with my grandpa because he was really skilled at it and he learned it from his dad and grandfather. And so now whenever that we gather around for Tết, he will be the one who makes the bánh chưng for my dad's side family, also the relative from my mom's side as well. That grandpa is my mom's dad. And I remember we woke up early in the morning and then we get everything ready, all the ingredients. I would wash the leaves with my brother and cut it into like the shape, and then he would fold the bánh into the mold from the banana leaves, which is crazy because they're so fragile, right? But he's able to kind of like mold the shape into like a square, and whenever it's fold and then when it's boiled, it's just beautiful. Like you see the ingredients transform into like the bánh, because usually you just buy from the store, but now making it feels really special. And you would wake up the whole night to watch the pot, yeah. And
Till I watch it.
yeah, I never like get to learn it from him, but it's just happened to be one of the most like memorable experience for me. But other than that, I think it's similar to you guys, pretty much. Yeah. That's it for me.
Well, I've never made bánh chưng myself before.
It's,
That must be interesting.
like the folding of the leaves and all that. It's just it's like origami almost.
Yeah, but like, did he use like a mold? Like now, I know that like they have like mold that can make it like easier. But I know a lot of like professional ones they just manually do it.
Yeah,
so they only use their
my
hands.
grandpa did. He didn't have
That's
any
crazy. And wow.
Yeah,
That's so
I
cool.
kind of wish that I was able to make it. I've never made like any bánh chưng bánh tét before, because I hear a lot of people like they say like that's how they get their family together. Like the entire extended family comes together on like one night, and then they all spend the entire day making bánh chưng or bánh tét, and like they watch it overnight. Like it's such like a gathering together experience that I guess like I wanted to do it, but you can never really do that here. It's hard. Plus, it's so cold here in the middle of the winter. I've always wanted to experience that in Vietnam, but I never really got the opportunity to actually. That's interesting though. Yeah, I know. I'm considering maybe on my off semester. I'll change to get winter off and then go travel to Vietnam during that.
Hopefully, VSAR team would get to meet everyone in Vietnam. That's gonna be the goal. Yeah.
I know, right?
Oh yeah.
Imagine how cool that would be. Like we would be, gathering, eating all the food.
Everyone
that
from
would be
north
so
to
cool.
south.
Going.
Everybody.
Yeah.
So kind of you guys slightly mentioned it earlier. So how is that different within the different regions or parts of Vietnam that you guys are from? So I know Linh, you're from the north. Nick, you lived in the south, but you have roots from the north. So how do you guys find it that it's different from other regions?
I actually never spent that in Hanoi. Like I always spend it in the south, and most of the time when I celebrate that, it's all within my relative, and they move from the north too, so pretty much it's like northern style. But I never really had like the southern style that before. Like we would just come to their place and then maybe chúc Tết, let's say, and then that's it. Like we never like sit down and experience like a feast within of that region. So I cannot say. Mostly it would be northern region the whole time for me. Yeah. But maybe Linh would be the same.
Same. So I heard that like the different way they celebrate it. So for the north, we would mainly spend it with our families and relatives. But like for southern people, I think they would be like, they would think that is like an opportunity to wind down, so they would travel more.
I think in the south, it's way more of, it's almost like Christmas break for us in Canada, where most people get like a week or two off from work or stuff, and they want to spend the opportunity to go travel, and they go like destinations, and they go have tourism and kind of go out and have fun. It's not so much about tradition in the south, it's more about like having fun. But a lot of people typically, I feel like anywhere throughout Vietnam, they like to return home for like the first few days of that, and then like the remaining time they have off, they go travel. But in terms of like traditions, I think the main difference that we can probably see visually is the flowers. In the south, you have Gay Mai everywhere. Like it's like yellow, like the one I have behind me, Gay Mai here, and then right beside it you have Gay Dao. Peach flower, which is in the north. And I actually find it kind of interesting. So I just realized, based on what Mai sent me a picture of her Gay Mai, and it's actually like you chop the entire tree down and you dip it in water, like in a vase.
Oh.
Like it's not actually in soil.
Okay.
Like it's almost like a flower branch, but in a tree.
I think it depends on family. So like there are families that have like the whole tree, but I think nowadays to make it more convenient, they just have a branch. So it's a matter of like how and where you want to fit it. So like if it in your living room and it's not too big, then you would have like just a branch. And if they want to go like extravagant, they would have like the whole tree. So I think it depends.
I think in the north there's also the orange tree too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like what? I
Is
don't
it
know.
In the
clementine?
south it's getak.
What is
Yeah, it's calamandian.
kumquat?
Yeah. So like in the Philippines they call it calamansi. It's
Yeah.
used a lot in a lot of dishes. But the English word is calamondin. In the south we call it jetak in the south. Yeah. So it's getak. I feel like that's almost also like in China too. Chinese tradition. They like to get the orange tree. Yeah, it's
Oh,
you
they
can buy
have
them
that?
here in Canada too because a lot of
Oh,
Chinese people like to
interesting.
buy it. So it's quite common.
Does it
actually.
represent like money though? Like, it's to me. I
Yeah.
think it represent money, but I don't know if it actually is. The jai
It does, I
Yeah.
think, because it's like orange and the golden
Yeah,
colors just
yeah.
represent like prosperity. and
Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
it is sour.
but it's so sour.
I think it's good for like people like to put them in salt and like pickle them and turn them into drinks, or they directly put them into drinks, like squeeze them into peach tea and stuff. But also really good dipping sauce,
Oh yeah.
salt and
Yeah.
pepper. Yes, quite good
Sweet
there.
and sour, savory.
So I guess like it's because of the color and also it's healthy. That's why people put it in their house.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Also, the green leaves have like representation like of health.
Money?
Health, like it's really green and healthy. Well, I guess you can say money too now, but like back in the past, they didn't have paper green money. It was gold coins. I think another thing that's different between South and North is bánh tét and bánh chưng. Like over here, I have a bánh
Yeah.
tét, and over here, bánh chưng.
That's
up
the
in this
biggest
corner.
difference.
Yeah.
And also the taste different too.
Oh really? I thought they were the same thing, just different shape.
I think the taste different. Bánh chưng is more earthy, and bánh tét seems more sweet, a little bit more sweet for me. Yeah, but I like both.
I never had bánh tét before, and I heard that you guys like the bánh tét has like different flavors, so like you can have different fillings in it.
There's a lot of like there's two types. There's two main types. We call it bánh tét đậu or the bánh tét mặn, and then we have the bánh tét chuối or bánh tét ngọt. So like the chuối, it's actually like there's two bananas inside of it, and it's like a red banana on the inside, and there's like some black beans mixed in with the rice, but it's like much sweeter, and we like to cut it up and fry it, pan fry.
Oh yeah, fried version of like of both is the best.
But I think what I thought though was the salty one. It's the same thing for bánh chưng bánh tét. Like the salty one, is it not? Like there's pork belly, mung bean, glutinous rice.
It just tastes a little bit
I think
different,
it's the
but
same
the
thing.
ingredients are pretty much the same.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but see, you guys have versatility. You guys have sweet one, and for us, we never made a sweet bánh chưng. You know, that would be an idea, right? We never had that.
Oh,
Yeah.
can you imagine that? Open a business, fusion.
Yeah, but bánh chưng is just one flavor. You cannot do wrong with it.
I feel like somebody could probably take it and like turn it into a modern mishmash fusion. But in the south,
That would be a good idea.
in the southwestern region, like Minh Tây, there's actually bánh tét chữ. So they put it into patterns, and when you cut it, it becomes a pattern, like a chúc mừng
Wait,
năm
what?
mới, or like it turns into
I never
words.
seen it.
So there's actually
Really?
yeah.
I have to search it up.
So it's called bánh tét chữ or bánh tét thơ, like one of those. So basically in the southwestern region, there's like competitions where people, they pour in the colored rice with this purple, orange, and green, and they color it, and it turns into like chúc mừng năm mới. And when you cut it, each circle becomes a different word, and you lay it out, it becomes an entire like basically
I
like
see
a
it,
poem
yeah.
or like a saying or greeting.
Fat love.
Oh my god, I just searched it up. So
That's really
pretty.
cool.
Yeah. So there's actually
Nice.
3 versions in the south.
No, I have to try this one.
I feel like it would just taste
It's
like
just,
rice. Like, it's just
presentation,
rice,
right?
so plain.
Not much of.
Yeah, like it looks nice, but I don't think it would taste really interesting though.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh, and there's also bánh tét lá cẩm too. Purple. It turns purple in the southwestern region too.
There's Cần Thơ, right?
I didn't know that bánh chưng only had like one flavor. I thought there was more that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
I feel like
So-
that's how traditional northern people are.
You guys get creative with the things.
I feel like, yeah. just in the South, like they're just like, oh, traditions, whatever. Let's be modern.
Just have fun.
Let's just have fun.
Yeah, it's all about fun. Để chơi xả gà, chơi tới bến luôn.
That's why my mom actually, she always complains about how tiring that is because she has to go through all the tradition, all the custom, and to
It's
her
labor.
that is not a holiday. It's so much work.
But you guys have experienced that over here. So how would you guys say that is different from Vietnam when you guys first came over here? Like, how was your experiences?
It's definitely more, like, it's less festive, like festivity, like less fun. There's not really like, it's not really merry and wholesome like the one in Vietnam, because here what I did in the past few years, just invite some friends over and we would cook like maybe thịt kho or like make some food and then eat and then, you know, just hang out. Like we don't really chúc Tết too. It's just an excuse for us to like see each other. And I think that's kind of the spirit of Tết is not there, you know.
So definitely like really toned down, you would say. So how many Tets have you had here, Nick?
Next week will be the 7th one. Since I came to Canada, I haven't been able to come back for that. Only in the summer. So for the past 7 years, it's been toned down.
So it also the same thing for me. So this is like my first time ever, you know, after studying abroad in Canada, that I celebrate that in Vietnam.
Oh, wow.
And it also has been 7 or 8 years. So yeah, it's gonna be so meaningful. Cause like in Canada, I felt like sometimes I didn't have any Tết at all, because it would just be another normal day. And you know, when the New Year comes, I also would be sitting in class, and then I don't even know when it's come, or I don't know the time or anything. I would just be in class studying.
I feel like I hear that story a lot, especially now with like no more international students. Like they're always like, I feel like so bad. Like honestly, like that was like their entire season for family, and that's what it's meant to be together. And sometimes if you think about it, it's almost like it's so sad where you're walking deep in the
Chasing
snow,
deadlines.
going to class and just living life normally, and running after deadlines, so many assignments, and you're just so busy with life, and then there's nothing for that, and then you don't have family
Exactly.
nearby. It's just-
And you don't have money.
oh my god.
You don't have money.
No money.
Yeah.
No money. Oh no.
The first year that I came to Canada, I think my parents sent me some money for Tết that 1 year. And then after that, they never sent again.
Never again.
So like if you come back to Vietnam, like maybe next year, you can ask them like, hey, where
Exactly,
all my
with
Tết
interest,
money from the
you know?
past years?
It's been 7 years.
Yeah, with interest.
With interest. Oh man. Use your skills that you learned against them. Yeah, so I feel like last year when everybody was still in Canada, our like really big event during that, I hope that was really able to provide those overseas with something.
Oh my god, I miss it. Like I wanted to attend you guys event, but then when I asked for the ticket, you all sold out because I didn't get to join it. And you know, one of my friends, she from like Hong Kong, but she was able to get the ticket, and she told me, oh, it was so fun. The food was so
nice.
good,
Nice.
and I was so jealous of her. Yeah, she loved it so
Very glad
much.
to hear it.
I felt like that one was such a vibrant event. Like we made it so bright and so big. It was like I actually didn't even get to attend.
Oh yeah. Yes.
I was there for like
Work.
You didn't attend?
I was there for like 20-30 minutes, like an hour or so for like the setup part and just signing up people.
Oh my
But
god.
then it was like my break time of work at the mall, so I had to run back to the mall. And I remember it was like a year ago, like now, like I think last week it would have been a year ago. I was like, oh man.
You did all the hard work and didn't get to join the fun.
Yeah, like I made the decorations and stuff. I just really wanted to make it good, like, you know, make it really big. That was our goal for this year. I hope to make it like really big too, but we didn't actually get to do that. What are some crazy things that you have heard from your relatives or have done on Tet that you'll never forget? Like just some crazy wild stories.
I've never kept my leasing money before. I would never allow to. So I also was very jealous of those who got to keep the money. Yeah. It's always my mom telling me, oh, it's gonna be for your education, for your clothes, for everything.
But do you ever see them again? Do you ever see that money again?
I
doubt it. I doubt it.
No.
You know, like when I was young, I expected to be a lot of money. Like I was expected to be like, you know, billions of money. And when I asked my parents, like, hey, how much have I saved up? They say, oh, it's only a few $1 million. I was really disappointed. I was like, oh, I thought I'm gonna be like super rich with all the money that they keep for me.
So for our listeners/viewers who don't know, it might sound like a lot, but a couple $1 million is actually like $100 or $200. Not that much.
Oh
Just
wait, how much do they lease you here, Brian?
My relatives never gave me leasing. It was not only that, but whenever they did, my parents would never let me take it. So I always had to give them back to them. Sometimes they would just like, my parents would take the money out and return the money and just make me keep the empty bag. They're just like, oh, you know, just keep the red bag for luck. You don't need the money. You're not going to use it. If you want anything, just tell me. It's always that. You never get to keep it.
When you ask them, do they give it to you?
No.
Gone.
It's gone. I feel like that's a universal issue for like...
For Vietnamese.
For everyone.
And like Chinese kids. So I guess this brings us to the end of our very special that episode of Why Do Vietnamese. My wall poster just fell off. So I guess this brings us to the end of our very special episode for that of Why Do Vietnamese. As always, please let us know if you do have any suggestions for our future episodes on why do Vietnamese do this, why do they do that. We hope that you guys enjoyed this episode, and thank you for staying all the way to the end. Like I said in the other episode, this would be where we would thank our sponsors. So any potential sponsors out there, please contact us and let us know if you would like to sponsor us. Once again, we wish everybody a very happy new year. Thank you so much for joining us on our special episode. We hope to see you in future episodes. Before we sign off, do you guys have any last things to say?
Keep the leasing, okay? Don't give it to your parents.
I would like to thank Brian for hosting this because it was really fun sharing about story and stuff. So thank you for doing this, and I hope everyone enjoyed listening and watching this.
Yeah, thank you for joining, you guys. It's great to hear you guys' story. That's just the whole point of this podcast, to get your personal stories and really hear different sides of things. And we hope that this can connect people together a little bit more. Wherever you are in the world, you can hear a little bit more about us and maybe even relate to us. So thank you so much for joining us, staying all the way to the end of our third episode of Why Do Vietnamese. And as always, remember to stay curious and ask, why do Vietnamese?